I'm sorry I was born with this perfect bone structure, that my hair looks better done up with gel and mousse than hidden under a stupid hat with a light on it.
All right, so we put out a call for portfolio review people who wanted portfolios reviewed like last year. And Mike, he was on it.
He was.
And he contacted her, Miss Shauna Rencher.
You see the little fingers of dismissal there?
And so then he found, I sent an email and he came here to the model and photographer and model forums and posted about it. So he actually has two portfolios, a main portfolio and a second one. Why do you, when you hear a photographer has two portfolios, what are you thinking, Shauna?
One's naked. Really naked.
And I think that would be accurate. So we'll go with his not naked to start with.
Right.
And then if I need to edit for YouTube, we'll do that too.
Right.
All right, so Mike's portfolio. I could read the profile text, but maybe you'd like to.
How would you like me to read this? What kind of voice?
Kind of glance at it, and what voice would you think you hear it in?
Well, I don't want to piss Mike off, but I'm gonna do just a voice that I was doing earlier when I was reading
something from me. He was reading my text.
Right, I was reading something from Ron's text, and for no reason I started reading it in this voice, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm a retired teacher and semi-professional photographer. Kind of sound like Charlton Heston. I like that. With very reasonable rates for models wishing to start a portfolio. Please contact me for more information. I thoroughly enjoy sports photography, particularly track and field and volleyball, both of which I've coached and participated in. If you enjoy the outdoors, there are a lot of beautiful natural settings in my corner of the world. Contact me if you want to expand your portfolio by shooting in some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, I probably wouldn't have used that voice.
You wouldn't have used any voice.
Hey, if you go back to the old ones, I used the yelling at me angry voice on one of them because that's what her profile sounded like. And his profile does not sound like Charlton Heston to me. Well,
guess what, Mike? Today you sound like Charlton Heston because this is our show. And I can make you sound like Charlton Heston.
Okay, so
bam.
What are you thinking after reading that?
Hobby photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, I want to make some neat images.
When I see like models who put stuff in their portfolio like, oh, I have two wonderful children and I like to play knitting and stuff.
Right.
Just playing knitting.
It's not really like artistic statement or anything. It's not.
It's just like a personal thing that's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, this kind of like, I'd like to do this sometimes.
I like the fact you talked about having some places to shoot because I think in the profile you need to have something that kind of answers the question why you should shoot with me. But you kind of buried the lead on that one and that it's way down at the bottom.
That's good. I would see that and say, oh, okay, well, he's got some credits. That's good.
Yeah. So, and then we have this picture, which I can't tell what because the picture's so small, I can't tell what she's holding, but I'm wondering if it's like a skull.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
To
me,
from here, it looks like a skull.
Ooh, it's going to be a mystery because it's not one of the first ones.
History's mysteries.
All right, so let's do a quick scan all the way down here. Kind of get an overview. A lot of pictures.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pictures. He starts to see you can see them all. Okay, just glancing through his thumbnails. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it's just kind of like, here's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than these are the ones that I selected and put here with a purpose. It's kind of like, well, I've done a lot of stuff and here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wonder with 92 pictures if someone might look at it and go, I'm not really going to look at all of them. Interesting.
Kind of senior picture-y.
Yeah, I mean, the dress is kind of interesting, but there's something going on with the face. I don't know if it's the expression. I don't know if it's post-production. Her eyes are a little sharp, her lips are a little sharp.
She seems a little tense, in the expression and everything.
Yeah. So, but she may not be like she's got a profile, so she's a model. If you have a profile on Mall Mayhem, you're a model. There you go. I actually noticed this one before, and I thought it was kind of interesting. The juxtaposition of line and color and all that stuff. I thought that was kind of an interesting image. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I like it. We said something nice.
Yay.
That's a nice image too. From a photographer's point of view, I'm like, okay, the blacks.
Right.
She disappeared into the blacks. Thoughts? Issues?
Well, it looks like one of those that, was probably done at a workshop. Something, you know what I mean?
Interesting. I wouldn't have triggered on workshop, but I guess that's a possibility. But I kind of like the feel of this image.
Yeah, I like the lighting in this and the texture. That's a nice one.
And the color. I doubt this
Right.
is its original color. You've done some desaturation and stuff, but I like it. It adds to it. That's an interesting image. Yeah.
Yeah, almost. I get a domestic violence feel.
Yeah,
from
I do
this.
too. And I mean, that may be what he's going for.
It may be. There's a story there.
There's
that's for
something
sure.
that it makes you think.
Right.
It invokes an emotion.
It does.
Now she had like a knife in one hand. Anyway, this one, I think you were trying to invoke emotion. And to me, you're too far away.
Right.
But I understand that you were probably going for the reflection, so that kind of puts you where it put you. You had to be that
Right.
far away to see that.
From this point of view, though, it's just kind of voyeuristic.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
just
what
a
I
little
mean?
far away
Yeah.
to have any intensity. Closeness is intensity. That I'm showing off my wedding dress. It's kind of a image.
Yeah.
If I had 92 pictures in it, I wouldn't feel the need to keep this one. When I saw this as a thumbnail, it was more interesting to me than it is full. I see too many weirdnesses when I can see the whole thing. I don't think that's flattering. And I think the leg position looks weird too. So I like the idea of the color and the not color and the industrial and the not industrial up here, but
Right.
down here.
Nice.
But-
Nice. Contrast of colors and textures and that sort of thing. It looks like a good place to start.
Yeah. When I first saw this, I thought she didn't have a leg. Just me.
Right.
But once again, it's compositionally interesting.
Right. Good place to start.
Good place to start. You
Good
could
place
use
to
that over and
start.
over again, aren't you?
We could use that.
Huh.
I would have liked to have just seen the one image.
Yeah, I would pick the one. Which one would you pick?
I don't know. That's tough. Maybe the top one.
Yeah, I kind of like the top one too. I think you get a lot of dynamics in this,
Right.
and then the hand. I would just put the top one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot chick sitting on a pile of sand.
Yeah.
Kind of implies the beach. Do they have a beach in American Falls, Idaho? It's a good place to start.
Yeah. It's a good place to start. You know what I mean? Another one of those where you're just like, oh.
Yeah, well, I think the image is actually kind of nice, and it was an interesting angle, and obviously the subject matter is serious. I don't know if it's in a model portfolio, a model
Right.
photographer portfolio. Color catches your eye. If she's going to do this much stuff with her hands, you probably need to see the other hand.
This one's very. You can see it's kind of like that, almost like an editorial sort of thing. Like you're trying to maybe tell a little bit of a story, but I don't know. Did you shoot that from the other side of the rail? Maybe. I think again, it's kind of the distance and the.
Yeah. I think this would be great if she's like a librarian or a college professor or something. But other than that, I'm kind of like it's a portrait. Has feeling. I like that.
Too much woods.
Well, I don't know. It's just photographically imperfect to me. She's washed out up here, yeah. That's the kind of thing too. I mean, when you add two images, you got to be like, and that's just enough to get it out of there. It's you went down for an angle, but I can think it's kind of a good place to start. But the other thing is, we're not looking at the dates on these, and it may be that you have older images when you weren't maybe as good as you are now,
Right.
and we have a tendency just to leave those around. And every so often we need to look at our whole portfolio and kind of go, oh, maybe I should take that out now. I'm better than that. Looks like Las Vegas.